Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to CollabSoft Sessions, where we deep dive on design developer collaboration. Hopefully you like this video, in which case you smash subscribe to hear more, and if you don't, I'd like to hear from you in the comments too. So today we're going to discuss how to simplify design handoff with Jira and Confluence. For many companies, design handoff is a complex, drawn-out process that's fraught with frustration and inefficiencies. But it doesn't need to be that way. Let's say your company has designers creating designs in Figma and developers implementing them in some coding tools, and both teams managing and documenting their work in Jira and Confluence. In effect, Jira and Confluence is the central hub that sits in between the specialist tools connecting all the teams, and that makes Jira and Confluence an ideal place for design handoff to take place, because designers and devs can interact and exchange information on an equal footing. Most organizations, this isn't what's happening. And in this video, I'll explain what usually happens at design handoff, why it's so messy, and how you can simplify the process with the tools that you're already using. So, what is design handoff, and why does it get so complicated? Design handoff is when designers hand off design files to developers for implementation. This includes sharing both the what, which is design specifications, user flow, and the why, design context and intent of a finished design. Many companies mix dev handoff way too complicated, and there are two main reasons why this happens. Number one, there's no design system in place. Lots of design handoffs include sharing all the technical information about a design. For example, tokens for colors, typography, fonts, along with the components and patterns for specific functionalities. And yes, designers do need to provide all this information for a design to be successfully implemented, and make sure that developers don't build outside of the guidelines or even rebuild a component that is already existing. But should designers be providing all of these specs at the design handoff? No. This is what a design system is for. A design system is a set of standards, principles, and building blocks that help keep the look and feel of your digital products and experiences consistent. It includes design principles, guidelines on how and when to use all of these elements, and a catalogue of components and styles. According to the 2023 Design Ops Benchmarking Report, 68% of design and dev teams think that poor design system adoption is the main cause of design to dev inefficiency. Design file organization came in a close second at 67%, and design documentation was just behind with 66%. This report also said that over 2/3 of respondents lose a quarter to 3/4 of their time each week to design delivery inefficiencies. And this is leading to a decreased team motivation, a decline in designer productivity, and delayed feature launches, which all makes the importance of getting a design system in place. And not just in place, but properly documented and actually used. Makes it all pretty clear. So the second problem is getting devs to actually work in Figma. Because the other thing that makes the handing off designs to developers much harder than it needs to be is the tooling. Because these days, designers are putting all the handoff information into Figma and giving the devs access to it. But this carries challenges that affect the entire process of product development. Design tools like Figma favor a designer's experience over the devs. And in our last video, we explored the stark contrast between a designer and developer's tools, and a totally different approach and mindset behind them. To a dev that likes order and logic, Figma is messy, chaotic, and difficult to navigate. And as a result, devs struggle to surface the specs they need, or even make sure they're working on the right design. Sometimes bad file organization and documentation is down to the designer and not the tool, but it doesn't change the fact that tools like Figma are made for designers and not devs. You can draw a picture in Microsoft Word, but that doesn't mean you should. Now sure, Figma has the development mode and inspect functions to help devs figure out what they need quicker, but these tools only go so far. For example, version control in Figma dev mode remains complicated, and it is hard for devs to check what they need at the screen level, and it's easy to miss important context. And also, dev mode's ready for dev label does not stop designers from editing work that's meant to be locked in for handoff. A Figma handoff can be difficult for a designer too. Designers will spend hours every week manually organizing their design files and explaining them to devs, and these files then have to be maintained moving forwards. And so this eats up even more time. Another obvious drawback of getting your devs to work in Figma is that you have to pay for the privilege. Buying a pricey Figma license for your developers is difficult to justify, particularly if they're only using it to look at designs. So, what do developers need from designers at a design handoff? A better understanding of what developers really need at design handoff can help simplify the process. Although it will vary depending on your workflow, here's a list of top things we hear developers ask for. Number 1, an objective. At the heart of every build is an overarching objective. This should be a nice, concise explanation of what the feature of the design is supposed to accomplish. This helps make sure developers keep their users' needs in mind while implementing a design. For example, your objective could be to create a better login experience and reduce the number of failed logins. Number 2, context. Context provides the bigger picture and background on why a feature is being built, who it's being built for, where it will be used, along with any relevant constraints. If a new login process is necessary, why is it necessary? Why are users struggling? What's wrong with the current way to log in? Is it for users that do or don't have a license? Is it for premium users? This context helps developers understand the purpose or rationale behind a design. Number 3, design intent. Design intent is the overall experience that a designer wants a user to have when interacting with a user interface. It provides the reasoning behind a specific design choice, such as a layout, interaction, or visual element, to make sure developers don't overlook critical design details to meet users' needs. For example, your login process might include a new error message that specifies the exact issue, e.g., incorrect password, instead of just login failed. Number 4, acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria are the requirements for the build. They should encompass all the specifications on user flow, i.e. the path the user takes when interacting with the product, and what the product should do at every step. What should happen when a user clicks a button? What should the button look like when you hover over it? What should appear when context is being loaded? So, a designer could give a broad list of acceptance criteria for a design, or they could make detailed lists specific for every list, e.g. screen 2 is a loading screen which should look like this, screen 3 is the logged in screen which should look like that. Now, number 5 is the final design. There should be no ambiguity about what design file is the final one. Otherwise, a developer will waste time building the wrong thing. So the ability to add locked-in Figma designs to a Jira ticket or a Confluence page is a simple solution to developers' needs for finalization. It provides a clear separation between the free-form canvas designers are continuously iterating on and the locked designs that developers, managers, and other stakeholders can use for reference. Figma's own Jira and Confluence integrations don't let you add locked-in design. All embedded designs simply auto-update to the latest version, and there's no way to switch to past versions. But you can do both of those things with Figma for Jira Pro and Figma for Confluence Pro from CollabSoft, with a link below. Number 6, a design system already established and documented. To make sure your design handoff is smooth and not overly complicated, you should have a design system in place, but don't put it in Figma. Figma might seem like a sensible place for your pattern libraries and style guides, but a design system is not just the pattern libraries and style guides. It's more strategic, in-depth, and includes the how and why behind everything, which is why it should live in a knowledge base such as Confluence. Plus, everyone's already working in Confluence, not just your developers, but your marketing teams as well, who also need to use the design system. It simply doesn't make sense to put the design system in a design tool that none of the rest of the company have access to. So, what are the best design handoff tools? Well, your design handoff tool shouldn't be a tool that favors one team's experience over the other. Not if you're trying to reduce design delivery inefficiency or improve collaboration between developers and designers. So in other words, your design handoff tool shouldn't be Figma. It should be a neutral tool, one that developers, designers, and the rest of the product team are already using. And this is why it makes sense to use Jira or Confluence for small projects and minor usability improvements, e.g. adding dark mode functionality. A Jira ticket could act as your handoff document. A designer could put the objective, context, design intent, and acceptance criteria in the summary and issue description. So using an app like Figma for Jira Pro helps you embed a locked-in design. The app offers a bunch of options for displaying designs and how devs can inspect and download them without the need for a Figma license. Interactions between developers, designers, product owners, and quality assurance engineers can all happen on the ticket in the comments. For bigger projects, such as a new login process, your handover could take place in Confluence. Since the Confluence page offers more room for describing the context and intent of a design, you could also include information such as end-user profiles, project roles, and responsibilities, and any technical limitations that you're aware of. So you can use CollabSoft's Figma for Confluence app to embed multiple locked-in designs that Confluence users don't need a Figma license to access. Finally, you can link all of the Jira tasks and stories required to create a new login process. The Clearview method for design handoff. To make everyone's life easier, you should consider using the Clearview method for design handoff. It's about giving everyone in the product team a clear view of the things they need at design handoff, and not letting your tools or an elusive, badly documented design system obscure that view. So put these 6 principles at the center of how you work, and we think your developer-designer collaboration will instantly start to improve. Principle 1, build and document a design system prior to handoff. Principle 2, handoff is not a one-done process. Principle 3, your work management tool should be your single source of truth. Principle 4, handoff a locked-in design. Principle 5, practice flexible rigidity. And Principle 6, handoff to everyone. So how does the Clearview method work in general in Jira and Confluence? Let's see how these principles apply to companies already working in Jira and Confluence. As mentioned earlier, Confluence is a great place to document your design system. Confluence and Jira are already tightly integrated, which makes it easier for devs to surface the technical information they need when they receive a Jira ticket. And you can use CollabSoft's Figma for Confluence app to embed components and assets in your design system pages. With a Confluence design system, the whole team has easy access to design assets outside of their specialized tools. Handoff shouldn't be the beginning or end of the process. Designers should host regular meetings and check-ins before, during, and after handoff. Confluence is an ideal tool for creating design documentation to support these meetings, and you can use CollabSoft's Figma for Confluence app to show draft, final, and updated designs on Confluence pages. Handing off designs in Jira and/or Confluence, the tools everyone uses, makes it a lot easier to create a single source of truth for product development lifecycle. And handing off a locked-in design using CollabSoft's apps provides developers with stable requirements, minimizing the need for rework and maintaining the integrity of the Jira ticket or the Confluence page as the design handoff document. Practicing flexible rigidity is about not being too flexible or too rigid at design handoff. For example, Figma's own Jira and Confluence integrations don't let you add a locked-in design system. So all changes immediately propagate to design in Jira or Confluence, and this is too flexible. Because at the same time, locking in design using CollabSoft apps shouldn't mean that there's no going back. That would be too rigid. Teams should aim to lock in a design, discuss it, gather feedback, and work on a new version, which then you choose to lock in again when you're ready to update. The final principle, handing off to everyone, emphasizes that product development isn't just about designers and developers. Lots of other team members have roles and stakes. So it's good practice for designers to include developers, product owners, support, and marketing team in the handover process. And centralizing your design documentation in Confluence and Jira allows all these teams to offer feedback, discuss concerns, and find solutions together in a familiar setting where they're already working. So overall, following the Clearview method is about facilitating easier design handoffs while ensuring that developers still build exactly what the designers intended. So, is it time for happier handoffs? The short version of all of this is that you can save time and frustration for designers and developers by using Confluence and Jira for your design documentation and handover processes. It makes design delivery much simpler, and if devs are forced to navigate Figma. You can make the process even smoother with an app like Figma for Jira Pro, which enables devs to see point-in-time designs on Jira tickets without the need for a Figma license. And with Figma for Confluence, you can share designs with full context on the Confluence pages. Again, no Figma license required. So this enables designers to involve other teams and stakeholders who may not be working in Jira, aligning and everyone on the design delivery, making sure that the new feature is solving the right problem. So if you want to learn more about the Clearview method for design handoff or try any of the apps we've mentioned, check out the links below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for more so you'll see the next one. And if you didn't like it, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Appreciate all your feedback. Thank you very much.